everybody, it's Lisa from Shabby Road Studio, back again with another installment of how to make a junk journal. And today we are going to put together our signature papers. So in front of me I have decided to use a couple of sheet music pages. I've cut those down to size. Here are the printables that I told you we would be using. And then I have a stack of some of my coffee dyed printer papers. So we're going to take these. I start out by, well, starting out making a junk journal, you got to decide, you know, whatever book you're going to use, you have to look at your spine and decide how many signatures could you actually fit in there. And this one is very small. I purposely chose a smaller one for this tutorial so that we could get through it. And we're going to do 2 signatures. That's as much as I feel like we can get into this. So I have the printables. And we're gonna start. This is just the way I do it. I start making a pile. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that came out good. There was 12 sheets, and that's going to give us 6 in each signature of the digitals. And then you have to get it even, you have to give it a number of whatever other extra pages you're going to use. So I'm going to use music sheets because I like to use those. So I'm going to use 1 of each for each signature. And then we'll just start by dividing these coffee dyed sheets into our signatures. So there's 1, 2, 3. So there we have our signatures. These are a little bit bigger than the digitals, and they're bigger than the music sheets. Now, normally I leave them that way because I don't mind the different size pages. We're gonna see how this is gonna look inside our journal. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. So we're gonna leave those coffee dyed sheets. We're gonna leave those alone. So next I'll just start folding them up, folding them in half. Doesn't really matter which way you fold the music sheet. Music's gonna be run in the opposite direction anyway. And that's okay. And these are printed on both sides, so this doesn't really matter, I guess, how they get folded. That's pretty. This one, it says wildflower, so I feel like that should be like the first page of the signature. And there's one of those in both sets. So like this one would be the first page of the signature. Everything else would go in this. Just because it says that on it, I think it would look cute that way. So that's why we're doing it. Okay, so now we'll start on the second signature. Just keep folding those up. Just keep these separate. know it's probably boring watching somebody fold paper, but sometimes if I don't show something, then somebody will want to see it, see that part of it. See, there's a piece of white still on there, and that's gonna bug me, so I just trimmed that off. So this one, I'm gonna make sure that this is like folded like this, so that I can use that page again for the first page of this signature. This is a pretty printable kit. I like it. Again, there's a little sliver of white. And one more. Okay. Now we're going to take this one first. And since there are 6 of these, and 3, 4 of these, I want to take this one, and then I will take coffee dyed, just kind of center it, and then I'll take another printable sheet and make sure it's the right side up. Yeah, I think that's the right way. Kind of center that, and then I might take, well, I'm going to take another coffee. I'm going to take another printable, and then I'll take the music sheet, and then another printable. We have more of these, so I'll take one more of these. I'll take a coffee, and then we'll end up with printable. Okay, so that's what you're going to have, and that's one signature. And sometimes I'll just clamp those together. So we'll do this one just like that. I'm looking for this one, so take this one. Take this. And another coffee. Another printable. Actually, I have 2 of these wallpaper type ones. I was meaning to put one of those in here. So we'll just open this up, and we'll, what is that one? We'll put 2 together. We will steal this one in exchange for this one. There. Just make sure that they're all even. Okay, so back to my, okay, so we have coffee, then we have the digital, then we're gonna have another digital, then we're gonna have the music, then we're gonna have a digital, then we're gonna have a coffee, and then we're gonna have a digital. So there we have it. We have both of our signatures figured out. And this is just a basic video showing you, because you can use all different kinds of papers in here. You can use tracing paper, you can use vellum, you can use dictionary page, whatever. I'm just giving you a basic idea for a quick smaller junk journal. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside for a minute. I'm going to bring back in our journal cover. So this is what we did on the last video. I like how it turned out. Then I got to thinking, what would be cool? What would happen if I took the die cut and took an extra piece of the digital paper and cut out like pieces, most important. So I just cut these out, and I thought, what if we just glued these tops? I don't know about doing these. Maybe not. We can always add them if people think, but at least I thought it would be kind of cool to add the color to these tops of the flowers. So that's what we're gonna do. Pokey piece out. Where am I here? There we go. Okay, now we'll get this on. Line up the stem. There. You're just gonna sit on top of the craft cardstock flower we have underneath of it. Yeah, I like that. I like it plain too, but I thought, well, that might be a neat little touch just to add just the tops in some of the paper from the inside the journal, so it's matchy, cohesive kind of. Oops, there we go. Get that stem lined up. There. What do you think? Yay? Nay? I mean, it's too late to say nay, but I like it. Yeah, that's fun. So just, you know, this is part of the junk journaling craft that I like. You can just change your mind. You can do weird, quirky little things. Yeah, it's whatever. Just like putting this that says, you know, where the daisies grow. It's a fun little added thing to do. You don't have to, but it's just those little touches that make maybe your journal different from other people's journals. So everybody, you know, everybody in the world could start making junk journals, and that's fine. You're never going to be alike. You could try to imitate someone's style as much as you want, but you're never going to be the same because everybody has their own personal artistic style, and these are just little things that, for me, this is what I love to do. I love to just do little things, and that just kind of came to me. I didn't think of it when we did the first video. So, yeah. All right, enough gabbing. So, we're gonna have 2 signatures in here. Yeah, that's all we're gonna have. So we're gonna take, I'm gonna check my stash of spine template. Okay, so here is some of my spine templates that I've kept because, you know, if you're working with the same size book, like sometimes I do, these are nice to have. Here's one with 3 signatures. I need one with 2. You could, yeah, that's not gonna work. 2 is an odd number. Usually you do 3 or 5, but this spine is just not big enough for that. So let's see what I have. I don't think, see, it's going to be folded up. Yeah, we'll probably have to make a new one. And that's okay. I just thought I would check to see if I had something that would work for 2. always hang on to those because you never know when they might come in handy. So let's take a piece of this music paper that I cut off, and I'm just trying to see if I can. Wow, that's going to be, it's not really working. That's not really working for me. This is fine. Like I said, it is less than an inch. So, let's see. Yeah, 3/4. That's the book page. Out of this was a page from the book. It's going to be the exact right height. So that's something to think about too. All right, so you put it in there, and if you can shut, yeah, this actually is still too big, because if I can't shut, these, I gotta take a sliver off from this. That's gonna be tricky. So I'm gonna draw just a sliver on here. Find my pen. Cut as straight as I can. Just take that sliver off. I think it'll fit perfectly then. And then we have to center our 2 holes for our signatures. That's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. So, gonna want to, the first set of holes should be, I'll go down maybe right about here, and then you're gonna do another hole right about there, and then in the middle. So you wanna maybe there, and then line that up. Okay, so now you're going to go from the top one. Anyways, where those would cross, that's where your other hole will go. So you got so now if you had 3, you could fold this in the middle for the 3rd one, and then use that for punching the holes in the signatures. But for this, man, I don't have one that's even. We're going to call this, I always choose a top too. We're going to call this the top. So, okay, so I'm going to get the book block from this and put it underneath. There's just like 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch, I don't know. We're just going to punch through our spine. down to this one. Make sure this one's up on the book. There. So that's gone through. Looks pretty good. So then we're going to move that out of the way. We're going to use the same template for the signatures, but we're going to use this book cradle, which if you're doing a lot of junk journals, this thing is really, I don't know, I find it very, very useful. So I'm going to say I got this on Etsy from the Creative Cat, something like that. So what you want next is this template to be folded. So you can put this in a signature. So you're going to take a signature. And you're going to make sure every paper is where you want it to be. That seems pretty even. I like to take my ruler and just kind of, that just gets everything, every crease down in the cradle part. And then I'll clamp a couple different spots on here just to hold everything steady. And then we put this with the top, the T, make sure that's up at the top. And we're going to have a quarter of an inch either way on the top and the bottom. Now, I'm just going to make sure that that template is down there where I want it to be. I don't know why I always do the middle first. I just do. And then I'll hold that tight. And I'll come do the bottom hole. And then I'll hold it still and come up and do the top hole. Okay. So this cradle works really well. So we got our holes right on the crease. Now let's move that out of the way and grab our other signature. And we're going to do the same. We're going to make sure that we have our papers where we want them. Just kind of making them even. And then, where's my, so it's the top. We're going to go in with that right about there. And then I'm going to take this ruler again. Just kind of push everything down. The clamp kind of just holds things where they need to be. All right, so I'm going to push down and then I'm going to hold that template and go right in the center. Go there and then go up and grab the top hole. And take our template out. Check our holes, looks good. Coming through the other side, looks good. So that's, you know, this book cradle is worth the money. For me, I say it's worth the money. It's a tool that if you're going to be doing this, is well worth getting. So then I use this waxed, it's on a cord. I don't know. I got it at Hobby Lobby over in the jewelry department, but it's a waxed cord, and I think it works really well. So, do you want to sew in the signatures? Let's move this out of our way. Grab our journal, and let's take one of these. Doesn't matter. I don't have, at this point, I don't have one that I want to be front or back. Doesn't matter. But I think still, we'll just leave a couple of these on just to keep things kind of steady. And I always start with the back signature. What color do I want? I guess it doesn't matter. We could do the white. So they always say like 3 times your height. I find that it does leave you quite a bit extra. I hate to waste, but 1, 2, 3. Oh, you'll see how much 3 gives you. And then I have one of these big, I don't know for sure what kind of needle they're called, but they have a big eye and they're thick. Okay, so I start in the middle, inside. If you start inside, your tails will be on the inside and you can clip them. If you start on the outside, your tails will be on the outside. I just don't like my tails on the outside. You're gonna go through the middle hole here, and you're gonna go through the middle hole in the journal itself. And you're gonna pull it through, stopping before you pull that all the way out. Then make sure, because sometimes I'm back here and I'll skip over and go over here. You got to make sure you're in the right lane. So go to the top and then hit your hole. That's kind of a trick here. Just kind of keep it bent. That way your needle should go through all your layers. I mean, it should. It's getting stuck on something. So something has moved maybe a little bit. There we go. So we're going to pull that out tight. Give yourself a little slack. And then we're going to go down to the bottom hole. And again, make sure you're in the right bottom hole and don't skip over to the other. I have done it, and I have to take everything out. You know, it's a mistake you only make once because it's a pain in the butt. Okay, so now just kind of make sure everything seems tight, and then you're going to go back in that center hole. Okay, and when you do, it's so awkward to try to do this and keep it in the camera so you can see it. It's going crooked. All right, so in. Nope, we're on the wrong side. There we go. Okay, so you want one of these tails on one side. It's going through. You don't want that. Okay, and you want the other tail on the other side of this thread. So. And then once you're through, go ahead and take your needle off. So now you're pulling tight, right? And you're going to hold it tight. And you're going to make sure that those are tight. No one wants a floppy signature. And you're going to pull it in a knot. You're going to tie it again in another knot. Then see, you've got all this extra. Like, people like to put dangly things on those. I personally have not gotten into a bunch of dangle stuff. It just isn't my thing. So I will cut this like right about there. So yeah, you waste a little doing that. All right, so then you can remove these clamps. And then we're going to take our second signature And do the same with that. So we want some more thread. So let's measure 1, 2, yeah, that's good. Oop, oop, oop. Now we can thread this needle. Sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take in through the center. I'm going to find this center. And like I said, we're going to go and leave us a tail here. Don't pull that all the way through, because then you just have to start over. Go up to the top. And come through the top hole. All right, it's stuck. Uh-oh, I'm pulling the right one. There we go. And now down to the bottom, through the bottom hole. And then we're going back in the center. So you're coming up like this, you're coming up on the same side, you just want to come up on the other side. One on one side, one on the other. Pull your excess and then give it a good tug. Hold that and check. Yeah, see, that's too wiggly. See that? So we have to find out where that's. This one. For some reason that got a little wiggly. There. Okay, so always check that because you don't want it to be wiggly like that. Then we're going to tie 2 knots again over the top of that inside thread. This stuff's really thick because it's that waxed cord. And then just chop off the extra and take off your clamps. All right, and there we have both of our signatures sewn in. That one is sticking down a little bit. Somehow we got a little bit crooked and that's sticking down below the journal. So, am I going to worry about it too much? Not right now. I can probably come and trim that. You know, do it now before we do anything else with the journal. There we go. There, that's better. It's all good. So sometimes that'll happen no matter how perfect you try to be. So there we have our, they're uneven. I told you they would be because the coffee dyed paper is bigger. But we don't care. It's a junk journal and it's meant, like a lot of people just put different shapes and sizes of paper. I didn't take the time to do that with this journal, but you certainly could. And that's the fun of it. You can put anything in here that you want. And we can add other things in here too, whatever we feel like we have room for, because this is a smaller spine. So we can't add a lot, but we can add, you know, whatever. We'll get there. We'll get there. So now we have a journal with 2 signatures. When, you know, a couple days ago, we had just a book with this book block in it. So here we have our journal is ready to start playing with, and now the fun part comes. So that's all for today. And I want to say thank you again for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.